Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are above 500 for the first time this late in the season since what? 2012, 2013? 18 and 17 on the season, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks take sole possession of that fourth seed as of right now. Can't be more proud of this team. They came out, they handled their business, they did what they had to do, and taken out an inferior opponent. Played a good basketball game. They were maybe a little tiny bit sluggish to begin with, but they got over it quick enough. And in the second half, they really took control of the game in the second half. You know, big shout out to the Knicks for this game tonight. Coach Tom Thibodeau was coaching his ass off, let me tell you that. You can hear him on the sideline on every play, calling out this person, that. Randle, do this. Obi, get this. I mean, Alec, you can hear him. He was getting it. He was coaching like he was coaching. You know, 20-something seconds left. Move the ball. He's coaching. That's what you need, man. That's what you need. Because every little thing that he's doing right now is him developing and building that culture with the team and letting these guys know what to expect. Me and Tony Crow was just talking about it. When you situational, that situation's got to be dire straits for you to get in the game. Don't be in his doghouse, because if you're in his doghouse, whew. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks started off the game a little bit sluggish, but they managed to take a double-digit lead going into halftime. Then in the second half, their defense just overwhelmed the Detroit Pistons, and the Knicks were able to take a 24-point lead and kind of cruise to a victory tonight over the Detroit Pistons, which is good. The Knicks needed that. They needed to be able to cruise to a victory tonight. The Detroit Pistons were led by their, if you want to call them a snubbed all-star, I don't know, you can't call them that because the Pistons had the worst team in the league, but he had 21 points, Jeremy Grant. He had 21 points, 8 rebounds, 1 steal. He also had 4 turnovers. Josh Jackson, he had 12 points. Wayne Ellington, he was 4 for 6 from the three-point line, 4 for 6 from the field altogether. He had 15 points. Dennis Smith Jr. in his revenge game against the New York Knicks didn't do much. He had 7 points, 7 rebounds. That's about it for the Detroit Pistons. Saddiq Bey had 10 points. He had 5 rebounds as well. But the Knicks really did basically shut the Detroit Pistons down in this game here. And for the Knicks, of course, they were led by Julius Randle. And that's becoming pretty much, pretty much in the books every single night that they're going to be led by Julius Randle. He had 25 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals. Only 1 turnover tonight for Julius Randle. I like that. And then RJ Barrett, he did his thing again tonight. He had 21 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. He shot 50% from the three-point line. He shot 61.5% from the field. Derrick Rose, he had 14 points and 5 assists. Alec Burks had 16 points. Emmanuel quickly had 12 points. The Knicks played good basketball tonight. And my player of the game for tonight, is Noel, ladies and gentlemen. I love what Noel is doing right now. I just like the way he's playing the basketball game. He had 8 points. He had 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals. He also had 3 blocks on the game. Noel is playing a heck of a basketball game right now. He played 39 minutes tonight. Down 2 centers. Noel is putting in the work. Gotta give that man credit. I like what he's doing, man. Gotta give that man credit. Big shout out to Noel. Big shout out to the New York Knicks for becoming a 5 or above 500. Not becoming a 500 team, but going above 500. And it feels good. It feels really good, man. It feels really good. And I tell you what, this is becoming a regular thing. A regular thing that we come out here and talk about a win. It's becoming a regular thing. Tony Crow, what's popping with you, brother? How you feeling?
Oh, man, I feel good, man. I feel good. I know y'all feel good.
Sir.
Above 500, man. We like I was saying off air, we just checked one of them boxes off. You know, now it's on to the next one. On to the next one. Stay focused. Stay focused. Let's take advantage of every opportunity. And good win. If I had to make any complaint, you know, it's him leaving them guys in with 5 minutes and less, you know. But other than that, man, I have no complaints, man. It was a great win. I'm gonna watch it again.
Yeah. Hey, Tone. I'm telling you, I swear Tibbs has the wrong score on his box sheet, on his box score. When he's looking down at his clipboard, he looks up and says, nah, that ain't the score. Yeah, that's the score. You know what I'm saying? He must, because, you know, it's 4 minutes left, the Knicks up 20, and he's like, nah, he's not even looking down the bench. He's not even thinking about it, right? He don't even look like, nah, not right now. You know what I'm saying? It's just straight coaching. But
with plenty of opportunity at that, you know. A couple timeouts were called, you know, a couple free throws, people at the free throw line. Mm-hmm. He had the opportunities, but you know, that's Tibbs, man. You know, he, like you said, he coached his butt off. He has to be in the running for Coach of the Year, like top 2. I don't really follow other teams, so I can't really call it. I would have to like do my research, but he's got to be in the running, man. It's a phenomenal job, and we just gotta stay focused.
He's got to drink tons of tea or something to make sure that his voice does not get sore. You know, when you hear him on the sideline, he's got to drink a lot of tea. You know, he's got to. Probably tea made with hemp, but I ain't gonna say nothing. Go ahead, Devon.
Well, come holler at me on the hemp part. Hey, Sim, Tom Thibodeau, like, I ain't losing this game. I don't give a, you know what? He's like, I'm keeping y'all in here till I know this game is definitely in the bag. He's like, I'm not taking you cats out till I know I'm winning this game, man. But anyway, man, salute to the chat, man, the panel. Stephanie, good seeing you again. City for real. NBK in the building, yo, run them thumbs up because the Knicks are 18 and 17, and they put in and they work. They did what they both did tonight, like I said earlier. Go in there, spank them cats. They only got one player who's going to give us a problem. Everybody else ain't. Their record is what they say they are. But big up to Alex Burks for bouncing back tonight in that first quarter. Julius Randle, what can I say? That jump shot is devastating, bro. I never thought he could. Julius Randle's jump shot is bananas, man. He hitting that from everywhere. RJ, super game, going aggressive. Big up to the Knicks, man. We in here, man. We no matter what happens, we going to the All-Star break at 500, no matter what.
Right.
At least.
That is beautiful,
right?
man.
At least, right?
Man.
You would think. I guess you would think. Right. Right now they're 18 and 17. There's still 2 games left. Right. Still 2 games left because we play San Antonio, then we play Detroit. So, yeah, before the All-Star break.
We lose to Detroit, so I think we good. We lose to Detroit. I ain't trying to hear that. That's the only reason for that. We going in Detroit. They beat us in no Garden.
Don't even think about Detroit right now. We beat them. We focus on the Spurs.
I get it.
Exactly.
I get it, but I like predicting. I know.
I get it.
Listen, I'm going to tell you no lie. I'm not one of them guys who believe the Knicks might have a bad game. No, that's the old Knicks. I knew the Knicks was not going to come up short tonight. No way. That defense is ridiculous. And I knew they only had one ball player on that whole team who can give you, they don't have nothing. That's why they 9 and 24. So, and when I'm gonna tell you right, in the Garden, they probably lose by 40. Trust me, Knicks is in the building, yo. 18 and 17. Let's get it.
As long as we stay focused.
Focused. That's it. We got to stay laser focused.
We good.
They got to stay laser focused. And I like the little jab that Clyde took at Detroit. He was like, when you're 9 and whatever, you can only get friends and family to come watch your games. That's why they only have 500 people. I mean, that's probably not true, but I just like the little joke there. Steph, how you feeling?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel really, really good. Shout out to you, Sim, the chat, the panel. The Knicks not only hit 500 the last game, we over 500 now. And shout out to Tibbs. Listen, Tibbs is serious. He challenged the call. I think it was like in the first quarter. Oh, no, I think it was the second, whatever. We was up like 20. He was like, no, I'm going to challenge this.
Yep.
I'm like, we are. Like, he's just laser focused. It's like he's not even the score, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's just coaching to win. Shout out to Randle. Randle is just lights out. The turnaround, as Clark is saying, baby jumper, is just money. He's playing well, game in and game out, and we need that. He's not even up and down. He's just game in and game out. He's there. And shout out to Noel. This guy is just a demon defensively. I mean, today he was really, really on it. As long as we get the ball to him up high, he's good. He's doing a great job for us. There was somebody else I wanted to talk about. It'll come up later. But yeah, I'm happy for the Knicks. We get these next two because we're gonna need a cushion going into that second half
exactly
season.
We need it. We need it. And
did he win the challenge?
No, we lost that challenge. Lost that challenge.
We lost it.
Yeah. And big shout out to Lloyd Banks in the chat. We appreciate you, man. Knick fan through and through. He just gave, shout out to the show. Big shout out to Lloyd Banks.
Appreciate you.
I want to ask a question. And maybe it's premature, but at what point, if Randle can continue to play the way he's playing, because right now everything is just smooth. He's playing real smooth basketball. He's not forcing anything. He's not trying to, say, oh, it's got to go through me. It's got to do this. He's making right decisions out there on the floor. At what point do you start to talk about, put him in MVP conversations? I mean, if the Knicks, I mean, you're talking about a team that was one of the worst in the league last year, right? The bottom three of the league last year. Mm-hmm. They have a lot of the same players. Mm-hmm. He's made the All-Star team, and because he made the All-Star team, the Knicks are above 500. If the Knicks make the playoffs and they're top 6 seed, he's got to be at least mentioned, right? He's got to be at least considered, right? City, what do you think? I mean, is it too early to even think about that with Randle? But the way that he's playing, and when you talk about who's the MVP, the most valuable player, is there any other player in the league right now who is more valuable to their team?
Sam, you already know the answer to that, man. No, okay? And before we even get into that, man, let's give a shout out to Noel, man, because you know what? That dude was sending shots back, yo. He was sending shots back like he was in a shootout, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was not taking none of it. No, you ain't coming in here. You ain't coming in the paint trying to throw up whatever you want to throw up. But for Julius, though, yeah, he gotta be mentioned. He has to be mentioned. You know why? Because although I would say this first, they probably do us dirty just because, they like doing us dirty. But at the end of the day, he's got to be mentioned because he's putting us back, He's bringing the Knicks back, and he's putting us on the map, and he's making the league aware. Guess what? No, this is not the same sorry Knicks. I'm sorry. Like, you know what I'm saying? You ain't coming in here like, you know what I mean? Doing whatever it is that you want to do. No, I'm balling right now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm balling with the best of them. Not only am I balling with the best of them, but we getting W's. You understand? That's the reason why he needs to be in that conversation, because what he's doing is producing wins. You know what I mean? He not dropping no empty stats down low. Like, you know what I mean? His stats are being well used and being renowned to where we balling it up. we making a big snowball. It's about to turn into an avalanche, and we gonna smash on somebody.
Hey, Tony, what's your thoughts on it, man? I see somebody in the chat. Let me see who it is. I can't even find it now. Oh, here it is. Xavier Black Wiley. He said, the Knicks get to 8 to 10 games over 500. That's when you can start thinking MVP talks. What do you say, Tone?
I agree. I agree with him 100%. I was gonna say we're gonna have to be, if we could be 4th seed and it be considered, but we're gonna have to be competing like within, half game a game behind the top 3 seeds or in the top 3 seeds for that to be the case. So yeah, a little too early, but it's not far-fetched to say it's possible by the end of the season.
So let me read to you who's in the MVP race right now.
Yeah.
All right, these are the players in the MVP race. Right now, the number 1 is Joel Embiid. Right, he's killing the league. Right, he's killing right now. Deserves it. You got LeBron, of course, 25 points per game, 8.1 rebounds, 8 assists. Nikola Jokic, 27 points a game, 11 rebounds, 8.4 assists. You got Steph Curry, right? He's averaging 30 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Then you got Damian Lillard. He's averaging 30 points, 4.4 rebounds, 8 assists per game.
Wow.
Right? That's the top 5. And then the next 5, you got Kawhi Leonard, Luka, Giannis, Donovan Mitchell, James Harden. Right? That's the next 5. And listen, that's tough company to put your name into. There's no doubt about it. That's tough company to put your name into. But then there's 5 more. After that next 5, the top 10, then there's 5 more. That next 5 is KD, obviously, Rudy Gobert in that next 5, Devin Booker, Paul George, Zach LaVine. Okay, so when you get into that next 5, Randle could and should be in that next 5.
He should be there right now.
That last LaVine. 5.
And I don't think KD should be there just based off the amount of games played. Like, hasn't he missed a good stretch already, and a couple games like here and there prior to? Mm-hmm. So, and they weren't playing good then. So so I mean, I will be satisfied if he's just mentioned in that last 5. Right, that's basically like an honorable mention. I'd be happy with him just being mentioned in there. And I think he should be right now, to be honest with you. I mean, he means so much to the Knicks. The Knicks don't have Julius Randle. No way, no how are they 18 and 17. Devon, let you get your last take on that, and then we'll move on and talk about some stats.
Yeah, I think most definitely he in the top 3, because I'll tell you why. With everybody else you mentioned, they team to still be good without them, because they got so many stars on their team. Like Durant still got Kyrie Irving and James Harden. They still got Kawhi still got Paul George. But Julius Randle, literally, without him on the Knicks right now, the Knicks would be like Detroit Pistons right now. Him and Damian. The reason I say Damian Lillard lost C.J. McCollum and Nurkic, and he still got them 4th in the West. Right. So he, to me, is the value of the player, not so much about the stats they putting up. How valuable are they to their team? And Damian Lillard right now is putting the Portland Trailblazers on his back, bro. I mean, literally, So I think Julius Randle, to me, is doing the same thing. And Joel Embiid, because without Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons can't carry them. You know what I mean? So I think it's just Joel Embiid, Damian Lillard, and Julius Randle, just due to the fact of what their team would be without them. You know what I mean? That's the reason why I think you should put Julius Randle up there. And I think I said that a week ago. I'm like, you know what? Y'all got to start putting Julius Randle in the MVP talk, because what he is doing for that Knicks franchise, he's putting the whole city on his back, basically.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He definitely is. Now he's got to be Steph in the running for most improved player of the year, right?
Yep.
Oh,
I mean, come on.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I think he got that locked up. I don't even know who would even be in the running with him for most improved.
Right. Jeremy Grant might be in the running, right? Because, he went from, he's having a really good season. Although Detroit isn't, a great team, he's really, he's making $20 million a year. He's averaging 23 points, 10, 11 rebounds a game. So he's really stepped his game up this year. So he might be in the running.
I don't know if they're gonna if they're looking at winning or not with that race.
Right.
But if they're looking at winning, he's most improved, and he's on a good team, and he's the main reason we are a good team. So I would think that he has that that he would have that locked up. Yeah. And I think the Knicks, and I've said this from early in the season, the Knicks should consider extending him. I know a lot of people saying, why? It's too early. Wait. I think they should extend him and lock him up.
I hear you.
You have.
I don't know whether that hurt our cap though, right?
Yeah, you got to wait until we make our
moves, and then. Yeah. But you know what? Just make sure he's on board. Remember what happened with Dwayne Wade? They thought he was on board with the Whiteside thing, and next thing you know, he in Chicago.
Right.
I hope Randle is on board with that.
but I think he would be, because I think being with Coach Tom Thibodeau. And then having the best season of your career, and putting you into you became an all-star, I think that means something, right? And it's like, you know what, I found a fit here where I can be the guy. I'm gonna stay right here and try to get this done. So I think that I'm pretty sure he's gonna be looking to come back. Looking at the numbers behind the game. Of course, the Knicks blew out the Detroit Pistons 109-90, 41 rebounds apiece for both teams. The Knicks had 23 assists tonight, only 16 for the Detroit Pistons. 9 steals for the Knicks, 8 steals for the Pistons, 7 blocks for the Knicks. The Knicks only had 11 turnovers tonight. Only 11 turnovers. They took care of the ball for the most part. The Knicks shot 51% from the field. They shot 50% from 3, and they're moving up. They're ranking in that three-point shooting. They don't shoot a lot of shots, but they're getting better. RJ Barrett, he's knocking down shots. He's up to about 35% now. The Knicks shot 80% from the free throw line. They dominated in the paint, 52-34. The Knicks didn't miss a lot of shots, so they didn't need a lot of second chance points. Only 3 second chance points for the Knicks tonight. And fast break points, the Knicks only scored 4 fast break points to the Pistons 16. And if there's another thing that I've been a little bit perturbed with the Knicks about over the last couple games, is the way that they run the fast break. We get very, very sloppy on that fast break. We don't run lanes well. One guy gets the ball and comes up and, tries to go in and dunk it or lay it up or whatever. I think we need a lot of work on that fast break, and it's evident to me. People talk about, why does Tom Thibodeau keep slowing his team down? Well, when you look at what we do on a fast break sometimes, you understand why he says we got to play in the half court, because we get on a fast break and we bumble the ball around all over the place sometimes. Alec Burks and RJ, those two guys, I don't know what they think when they're on a fast break, but, they have a hard time converting. I know I'm nitpicking here, ladies and gentlemen, but there's always little things that you can work on. And I think that's one thing that the Knicks got to work on, understanding how to run those lanes on a fast break, and then convert your fast break. Big shout out to Bobby Bottles. He said the Knicks had a great month. Yeah, we're like 9-5 for the month. But Julius Randle needs to have a killer month to be in that conversation for MVP. Okay, I get it. I understand. We'll see what happens there. Big shout out to Ian Clark. Thank you for the super chat. And I think there's another one. I've got to find it, and I'll make sure that I read that one out as soon as I find that super chat right there. But, good numbers for the Knicks tonight. Again, they are moving up the charts in their 3-point percentage. They're getting better. Tonight, they shot, how many threes did they shoot tonight? The Knicks shot 26 threes. That's about what we average, 26. 13 for 26, that's good. And, the Knicks, I don't think, you're not going to see the Knicks shooting that many more threes anyway. So, there we go. Question I want to ask you guys. And it's happening with the point guard and the center positions. When Mitch comes back, if Nerlens Noel continues to play the way he's playing, because he's playing really stout defensively, Mitch come off the bench.
Probably not.
I mean, if let's say, for example, the Knicks went out this month, right? They went out this month. They're on a 5-game win streak. Mitch comes back to start the second half of the season. Do you switch it up and say, we got to put Mitch in the starting lineup? Or do you just say, I'm going to rock with Noel? Go ahead, Steph, and then I'm going to come down to Prince.
Yeah, I mean, when you put it that way, I don't think it matters. I think they're going to share time anyway. Mm-hmm. So if he doesn't want to mess with the current chemistry and stays with Noel, Mitch is still going to get his time. But Noel has really shown me something defensively. He's very active, the shot blocking, the rebounding, the just his overall defensive game. He's a little more active, in my opinion, than Mitch. But Mitch is stronger than him and holds his position a little better when he's being posted. But other than that, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Noel. So, yeah, I think he's going to get more time, actually. No matter who starts, I think he's going to get more time. And I wouldn't be surprised if Tibbs leaves him there and brings Mitch off the bench. But he's still going to get his minutes. Like, it's not going to be like a 30 minutes for Noel and 15 minutes for Mitch.
Right. Of course. Yeah, definitely. He's still going to get his minutes.
Yeah.
Prince, what do you think, man?
Hey, man, it feel good to be back, man. Sorry, family. You know what I'm saying? Been having to, clock them hours lately, but I ain't gonna never stop bleeding orange and blue, man. Pound that like button for the pod, father. Shout out to the real ones on the chat, the queen, the boy, the King Divine, King Talk Crow, King City for real. Appreciate y'all, brothers, man. Thanks for holding the spot down for me, man. Feel good to be home. But you know what I'm saying, Sim? Definitely, I love Noel's what he's given us. I know he was killing them in the beginning of the season. It could have a lot of it could have been him just adjusting to the team, trying to appease to Thibodeau and just not ruffle feathers. I mean, I'm pretty sure he probably seen, Mitch probably was throwing some, smacking his lips or something while he was out there with the first unit. So, like Steph said, I think Noel's, like he said, he's a vet, so he's been around and he understands, the NBA. So I think it may be easy. And and I was thinking too, when you said the question, Sim, maybe Mitch might not be so hurt now. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he might grow up and see, okay, I'm not gonna lose much coming off the bench. It's not gonna hurt my game, or it's not, like you said, it's not a black eye for me not to start. So again, the Derrick Rose thing, elf. like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna stop acting a fool, but like I said, man, elf, yeah, he's serviceable. But if Frank comes back and he's playing the minutes, I think it might be time for us to sit down with elf and ask him, honestly, what we want to do or what he wants to do. Because again, I think. I don't know to say Derrick Rose is the starter, but again, we see the type of play he commanded. When I was watching the game tonight, I was listening to Kelser because I had to watch the Detroit broadcast tonight. And Kelser had said, they had, alluded to basically the restriction minutes of Derrick Rose. And they was like, well, he's got 30 minutes tonight and it don't look like he's slowing down. So I'm like you had said, Sam, and I think some other people have spoke about that in the chat. To D Rose and that minute restriction that they had him on, I think he's starting to make a lot of people in Detroit look stupid. And again, I really like the play that he's given us. I like the energy that he brings when he's out there with that group. So I think that the Mitchell one is kind of a toss-up. D-Rose and Elf, I hate to say it, Elf, you might be on the trade docket, bro. Unless you just want to, be out not where I say out the rotation, but
no, I don't think they switch.
I don't think he's going to be out the rotation. I think when he comes back, Frank goes back to the bench.
Right.
I mean, I respect that because again, you can't. I wouldn't think you would just erase his whole. I mean, because again, Elf, like we all know, Elf has been playing decent ball. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, he deserves it. He don't, like I said, it ain't like D Rose has came in and just, set a fire at point guard. It's just obviously we see a little better play in facets of the game and other players' game when D Rose is running the ship. But much like you said, knowing Thibodeau and knowing the way that he loved that dude, and that was, I should have said that way. Unless Elfert just gets to the point where he comes to them and like, you know what, I don't want to sit. I know I deserve to start. Trade me. You know what I'm saying? Or let's sit down and talk about a trade. So again, Sam, I see what you said.
Yeah, I don't see that at all.
May start still though.
Yeah, he could still start. I mean, if they're going well, I don't see Tibbs making a change if they're going well. But Derrick Rose, he went 37 last night, I think it was. He went 30 tonight. In my opinion, you don't want to keep having Derrick Rose go that many minutes every single night. And it's clear that you need another veteran point guard on the team, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Quickly doesn't get it done for me as a point guard. Frank either. Okay. You know what I mean? So you need to have another point guard out there on the floor. When Quickly, and I'm not complaining about Quickly, but when Quickly has the ball, his very, very, very first objective is to just shoot it. Come off that screen, hold the guy off, and get that floater up. And that's okay. That's what he does. That's his role is. That's okay. But you got to have another guy out there that's going to do some other things. And I don't think Frank still gives you enough production. Defensively, I still don't feel like he gives you enough production. And so, yeah, even if Elfrid Payton is coming off the bench, whatever, I think he still is going to be in that 10-man rotation.
I think so. Pretty sure of it.
Yeah. Let me get to a couple of phone calls here. Caller, you live. What's popping?
Sam, what's going on?
I'm good, man. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. It's Spree.
Yes, sir.
I called you in the off season, and I said, Latrell Sprewell, Tom Thibodeau is the best thing that's happened to this franchise since trading for Spree. And I really believed it, Sam. I really believe that this coach is different, man. This guy's a winner. This guy holds people accountable. He's not even happy, Sam. In the postgame, he says, "I'm never happy," and he's just going to hold this team grounded. All I've ever wanted, Sam. Obviously, I want to win a championship. Obviously, we all want that. But I just have always wanted a team that worked hard, that has a chance to win every night. We haven't had that in a long time, so this feels really special. But I also want to apologize to RJ Barrett. I was very, very tough on him. And I mean, I don't know if it's confidence. I don't know if it's film study. What do you think has changed? Because he's now shooting the ball better and he's more confident in the lane, man.
I think it's just the ebbs and flow of the season. And I think we'll see another stretch of 3 or 4 games where he's not shooting well, and then he'll come back and he'll be shooting well. And I think it's just him being 20. You know what I'm saying? That's what I really think it is. Now, he is shooting more confidently, especially from 3. He's doing a better, he had different stretches throughout the season so far. He started off, first 1 or 2 games where he shot really well, and then, he was shot really bad, and then, he came back and shot well, and then he started to get the little hand off and drive to the lane, and he was converting on that every time he went up, and the team started to take that away, and then he found, started to get to his spots in the mid-range. All of these little things, I think, are adding to his game. Every time a team takes something away, he figures out another way that he can score. right?
Yeah.
And so every single time someone takes something away, then he figures out another way to score. He adds something to the toolbox.
I'm
right?
with you. I'm with you.
Something else to the toolbox.
He's a strong kid too. I've underrated how strong a kid he is. And he is mentally tough, and I just got to stick with him. You know, I've been tough on him. It's been some tough love, but he comes back. He always fights. He always gets through it. And you're right, he's young. Because, Sim, if he can be that second guy for this team, the way he's been the past few games, then we really have something. That's where, if he can do it, man, and be that guy for us, then we're not just talking about getting in the playoffs. Then we really have something here that's sustainable.
Right.
So, and one last thing, man. Shout out to Nerlens Noel. 40 minutes tonight. Come on, man. This guy's playing out of his mind. And you guys just talked about it, but I got to show the guy love. Loving what I'm seeing. Everyone gets an A, and let's keep this going. Yeah,
let's do it. Let's keep it going, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate the call, Spree.
Right. Yeah.
Appreciate the call. Get to another call here. Kareem. Kareem is in the building. Kareem, what's poppin' with you, brother?
Hey, how's it going?
Barbecue chicken, man. That's how it's going.
I told you, man. I seen you earlier. I'm gonna send you a violin track, man. I don't know. We might struggle because we gotta expect that.
Yo, hey, listen. I thought it. I thought it, and in that first quarter, I was a little bit nervous. I thought we was gonna struggle. You know what I'm saying? Because we were a little bit sluggish, but I predicted that we was gonna come out with the victory.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this was a great win, man. I like what the caller asked about R.J. Barrett, and I wanted to give my perspective on why he's shooting better.
Okay.
I feel like R.J. Barrett shoots better on the catch and shoot. When he tries to create his own shot, he struggles.
Right.
Or may I say even a mixture of that, or when he takes too many dribbles and tries to shoot.
Right.
When he just gets the ball, passed to him, and he could just catch and shoot in stride, he knocks down the shots.
Yeah, and it always helps when that pass is on point, right? So he doesn't have to readjust. Yeah. It always helps. I think Derrick Rose does a better job of getting those passes on point than Alfred Payton does too.
Yes, I agree. I definitely agree, man.
Yeah.
Definitely agree.
Hopefully R.J. Barrett continues to play at the level that he's playing. He had 21 points tonight. And, I'm loving it. I'm loving it right now. Now we got to set our sights on San Antonio. It's going to be a tougher game.
Yeah, we got to do like we did the last game, man. Julius Randle got to elbow DeMar DeRozan in the face. Put him in the concussion or something.
Yo, man, we need Julius Randle to be in the game, man. No more texts. He's had a few texts the last couple of games, right?
He got to make it look like an accident, though, man. Like act like his shoes, but my bad. Oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
He got to look accidental.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate the call, man.
All right, likewise, son.
Hey, peace. We did get a chance to see a little bit of Obi and Julius Randle playing some small ball, right? Julius Randle at the small ball 5 and Obi at the 4. One thing that I did notice is Julius Randle is not giving the ball to Obi Toppin in the post. Right? Obi Toppin is posting up. Julius Randle is like, move. That's my spot. Get out the way. Let me get there.
I don't blame him, though.
Right.
Hey, Sim, that's like when your little brother sitting in your spot on the couch like us.
Exactly. He's like, get up, man. What you doing?
Move, bro.
You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, look, when me and my brother were young, we had a Nintendo. We had one chair. We had a little corner, right? We set up a TV with the Nintendo. We had a corner. We had posters on the wall. And we had one chair. And every time I came in the room and he was sitting in the chair, I'd grab him up like, nope, you sit on the floor.
No.
I'm sitting in the chair. I'm going to start in the chair, and then we're going to play this game. And if you can beat me, then you can get in the chair. That's what we did. We play I can't think of double dribble. We played double dribble. You know what I'm saying? And the winner got the chair. I started in the chair, and then the winner got to sit in the chair. Of course, I won. I was older. You know what I mean?
when Obi went down in the post, Julius Randle started doing. He was, and then only I could see Julius Randle here with ludicrous. Move, get out the way.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Move, get out the way. Don't try to tell you like, nah, bro, you can't come over here.
Right.
Julius Randle.
Yeah, calling you live. What's popping?
Yeah, Julius Randle.
And the winner got the chair. I started with the chair.
Calling, you there? I need you to turn that down in the background. All right, I don't know. They missed. Let me get to the next call. Calling, you live. What's popping?
What's going on, man?
What's going on? I'm good. How you feeling?
I'm good. Yeah, yesterday I called in. I think I was like the first caller, but I'm glad they didn't take the foot off the gas. You know what I'm saying? They had a complete game. You know, everyone was in there. Coach Tibbs. You can hear him yelling his ass off. So, you know he was in there, and everyone played consistently. So, I was happy about this win.
Yeah, real happy about the win. And what you can see from this team is that they're just focused. They're really focused on the task that they have at hand, and I think that's a testament to the coaching. I think it's a big testament to the coaching. Yeah. You know, just the way that they prepare every day. Julius Randle and I think Derrick Rose talked about it after last night's victory over the Pacers. Just the way that they prepare you. You have no choice but to be focused because they're so focused, right? Everything that they do is focused. And you know, when you have a coaching staff like that, you're afraid not to be focused, right? Because they're going to call you out and they know that anybody can become situational. Right, so you have to be focused, and it helps that Julius Randle is focused. Here's the one thing I think that the Knicks fans are really liking about Julius Randle is that he is, he's become an all-star, of course, but he's lunch pail kind of guy, right? He's not the glitz and the glamour type of dude. You know, he don't have the big endorsements and is on TV doing this and doing that. He's not on Twitter saying this and saying that. He's just coming to work and getting it done. You know, he's just grinding it out, coming to work and getting it done. And he's a player that had to go from, coming off the bench in Los Angeles back in the day to building himself up to, a self-built all-star, if that's what you want to say, right? You know, you got some players like Zion, he just had this uber talent and he comes in and everything is on his team is built around him, to become an all-star. He becomes an all-star. And I'm not taking anything away from Zion, right? That's a testament to his talent. LeBron James was the same way when he came in to Cleveland. Julius Randle was one of these guys that had to start all the way from the bottom. And then his first season in the league, broke his leg, and didn't play. He only played 10, 15 minutes in that first game of his career and had to build himself up. And I think New York Knicks fans are really endearing themselves to Randle because of those attributes that he brings. So, it's really nice to see. It's really nice to see, and because he is that type of guy, because he had to build that way, right? His focus is he's laser focused, and so when the best player on your team is laser focused in that manner, he's working hard. They see what he did in the off season, they see what he does in practice, after practice, before practice, whatever it is. They see his relationship with Thibodeau. They have no choice. Everyone else has no choice but to follow suit. Right. You know what I mean? And then, of course, Derrick Rose, being one of the top players on the team and having that type of relationship with Thibodeau, understanding what Thibodeau wants and bringing that same work ethic to the team, that same level of focus. Everyone else has to be that way, and it's showing, how focused they are. And it's great to see. Anyone that they bring in, they've got to come in. They will be forced to come in with that same level of focus and intensity and fall in line with the culture. And if they don't, I feel like the team would not out in public, but in their own locker room, their own little world, sit down with that dude and say, hey, listen, we're not having this. This is not what we about. You're either going to come in and work and be focused, or, Tibbs is going to find another situation for you.
Yeah, and you guys brought up all the points, but I just wanted to mention about I was watching the post game. They were saying, I mentioned this in the super chat. They were saying that last year, Win 18 came in at game 60. So just to see where we're at right now, and it's crazy. I think we're moving in the right direction. And Julius Randle's amazing. He's doing everything, but he can rely on other players. Like, we got so many players that can step up. So definitely. It was a great win, and hopefully we can continue on. I don't want to be in the play-in, though, because it's a tight competition. Hopefully we can get a comfortable lead so we don't have to be, like, below sixth place or anything. Right. Because we got to face teams like Miami, Charlotte, Indiana, and that's tough as is. So hopefully we can just get in the playoffs. That's all I want to see. Yeah. MSG is open. I want to go to a game. I'm talking about,
Exactly. I'm with you 100%, man, because that playing, if you're in the 7th or 8th seed, you get 2 chances. If you're in the 9th or 10th seed, 1 loss and you're done. So this is Flip Mob 3. I appreciate the super chat, man.
Hey, man. You take care, son.
Yeah, you too. And let me get to one more call. We'll come back to the panel and talk about the San Antonio Spurs game. Caller, you're live. What's poppin'?
Hey, bro. This first time caller. Appreciate your show. Watch it all the time.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
I'm calling from San Jose, California.
Okay.
The Tib, just ever since he just came to the team, I mean, everyone seems focused, man. Everyone's being held accountable. And I think with Rose coming on, I mean, he brought a lot of confidence to RJ. And he's able to find RJ when he's open. And I think also, I think everyone was questioning RJ's, ability to shoot the ball. But I think he should be changing everyone's mind the last couple games.
Yeah, I mean, he is. He's changing people's minds. His stroke looks good. His form looks good. He's got to continue to do it and be consistent with it. Listen, if he, has a couple of games where he, goes in a 3 or 4 game stretch where he's not shooting well, the fans are going to let him know. But I think right now, we've all seen and probably believe that RJ can rebound and will rebound. So I think we're confident in that way, and the fact that we've seen it throughout the season gives everybody confidence that it's just growing pains for him. One of these days he'll be consistent.
And he played some defense tonight.
Yeah, he did. He played good defense tonight. Obviously, sometimes there are some nights when RJ Barrett gets beat, when he's playing against some guys that do a lot of movement and coming off screens and stuff like that. But, he's a young guy. He'll learn.
I think Rose has earned maybe the possibly spot over Elfrid Payton. I mean, the guy for his whole career hasn't shot the 3 ball. We all know that, under 35%.
Right. It is surprising that he's shooting that 3 so well right now. Derrick Rose is, I'm not sure what his percentage is coming, what his percentage is since he's been with the Knicks, but he's been shooting it well. I would say probably high 30s right now for the Knicks, just for the Knicks, not overall. As a matter of fact, I'm going to try to pull that up and see what it is. But, hey, my man, I appreciate your call. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
It feels good to be a Knicks fan, man.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Go Knicks.
No doubt.
Yes, sir.
All right. Divine, want to come to you, man.
Yes, sir.
We play San Antonio on, what do we play? San Antonio on Tuesday night. And they're going to be in the second night of a back-to-back, right? San Antonio's a tough team to play against. Always going to be a tough team to play against. Of course, they got Coach Greg Popovich over there. He does his thing year in and year out. They're 17-12. They're in the 5th seed in the Western Conference. They're a team that moves the ball, team that plays discipline. It's always going to be that when you got Greg Popovich as your head coach. Right. When you look at right now, points per game, San Antonio is 22nd in the league in points per game. They average 111 points per game. All right. They are shooting right now. They're shooting 45% from the field. They're shooting 36% from 3. Okay. They average about 25 assists per game. All right, typical numbers that you would see from a San Antonio team. You kind of expect that they average a little bit more points, right? But still 111 points per game. You got to respect it. Defensively, the San Antonio Spurs right now have a defensive rating of 109.8. That's 9th in the league, right? And the Knicks, as of tonight, our defensive rating is 107.4. That's 2nd in the league behind the Los Angeles Lakers. So we're going to be playing against a team that's another team that's a good defensive team. Offense, a little bit better than ours. What's your expectations? What do we got to do to come away with that win? Because the best way to ensure that we're going to go into the All-Star break above 500 is to beat the San Antonio Spurs on Tuesday. That's the best way to ensure it. We win that game, we're going into the All-Star break above 500. How do we do it, Divine?
First and foremost, we got to go with borders here, our defense. We just got to come play a defensive A game. No matter how bad the offense can be on any given night, your defense going to always keep you in the basketball game. And I think if we just come play, bring our defense to the forefront like we've been doing, and and hopefully Julius Randle do what he do. RJ Barrett keep doing what he do. The key to the Knicks whole season to me is Allen Burks and Manuel quickly. If them guys shooting the ball pretty decent, we got a shot against anybody. That especially now with Derrick Rose. So I'm hoping that we just do what we've been doing the last 3 games. But it's going to be tough because now you run up against one of the 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of the greatest coaches that will do this thing in the business. You know what I mean? And Popovich and Tom Thibodeau, that's probably going to be one of Tom Thibodeau's toughest challenges so far this year, coaching against him. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, and Spoelstra, obviously. But I think right now, man, it's going to be a tough game, Sim. But I got to say, I really believe, and then not only that, Tuesday will be the year anniversary of Leon Rose being the Knicks president. You know what I mean? So they got something else they've tried. Well, let's get Leon Rose a win, hypothetically. You know what I mean? Just more motivation. But I just think we go down there, man, and do like we did tonight, and do like we did against the Indiana Pacers. Bring that defense to the forefront, and everybody, contribute by committee. Like I said, the gritty committee. That's what we got to do. Now I think we have a good chance because, like I said, man, they got some good shooters down there. Patty, them guys can stroke the ball, and they're real talented down there. But I also believe in our defense, man. I really do, man. But it's gonna be tough, Sam. And this one on one, I would say I won't say the Knicks definitely gonna win, but I do believe that we got a good chance to win. I'll put it like that.
Okay. All right, Tony. What's your take on the game? They got right now. Their starting lineup has been DeJounte Murray, Lonnie Walker. Mm-hmm. I remember that kid. He had a quick rise. Nice. Coming out of when he was. In the draft, right? In the draft, it was like, you didn't know who he was, and all of a sudden he just kept rising in the charts, man. They got Lonnie Walker. DeMar DeRozan, of course, is their starting small forward. They got Trey Lyles at power forward, and then Jacob Podol at center. DeMar DeRozan, he's leading the team in scoring at 20.3 points per game. DeJounte Murray, he's averaging 15.7 points per game. He's also averaging 5 assists. As their point guard. I mean, they got guys there, and this always happens with the San Antonio Spurs guys that you don't really know who they are, but somehow Pop knows how to get the best out of his players. They had a down year last year, but they're back this year. They're coming off the bench. I think LaMarcus Aldridge is actually coming off the bench this season. He's averaging 14.3 points per game. And and he's grabbing he's grabbing about 4.5 rebounds per game. They got Derek White, Rudy Gay comes off the bench, Patty Mills comes off the bench. They have some experienced players that know how to get it done. They're not a championship contender out in the Western Conference, but they're 17-13. Good team. Tony?
Yeah, this is gonna be a tough one. I think people probably gonna kill me for this, but I think this particular team, I would have been more comfortable without original starting lineup. Obviously that's including Payton, that's including Mitch, and then Rose off the bench. So I mean, their bench is pretty stacked in a sense, because they got like real veterans and Aldridge off the bench. I mean, that's a killer. You know what I mean? I'm trying to look at the matchups that it's gonna bring. I think we got to worry about their starting guards. RJ is going to be tested defensively, whether he's on DeRozan or Walker. Hopefully they put him on Walker though, and they could bump heads with the young guys. I prefer Bullock guarding DeRozan. Lyles is a tricky cat too. He seems to be coming into his own. He's always been like super talented. So I'm sure I haven't really watched him, but I'm sure Pop got him playing his best basketball. So that should be a good matchup. Hopefully Randle doesn't take him lightly and did his research on him. But all in all, if we play our game, I think we could win. I think it's gonna be this might be a 80-something, 90-something game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And Steph, that scares me, having LaMarcus Aldridge come off the bench and how we defend him coming off the bench without having Mitch and Nerlens Noel as your, however it is, your starting and backup center, right? That can go out there and guard LaMarcus Aldridge. And we don't have Taj Gibson.
Yep.
Because of his ankle sprain, that can go out there and has experience guarding LaMarcus Aldridge, right? So now we're dealing with, we're working with Obi.
Heavy minutes.
Yeah.
For our bigs.
Heavy minutes for our bigs, and Nerlens Noel and Julius Randle to deal with LaMarcus Aldridge. And maybe I wouldn't even let Obi guard him. I wouldn't even let Obi guard him.
No.
I wouldn't even let him do it,
Not at all.
I mean, I guess that's going to be the way. What do you think, Steph? With LaMarcus Aldridge manning their bench, that's tough. They have an experienced bench. Their bench scares me.
Yeah. And let's not forget Keldon Johnson. I don't know if he's a rookie or second-year player, but he's playing very well for them also. I mean, the thing with LaMarcus, he likes to do the fadeaway. He has a really high release. So he's going to be able to get that shot off over pretty much everybody other than Noel. But what are you going to do? Play him the best you can. I mean, Tibbs can double him if he feels like he's really really hurting us. It's just that they have shooters. If we do that and we double, our rotations have to be tight because they have shooters. It's going to be a tough game for us.
It is.
No matter what. I love DeJounte Murray. I love this kid.
Me too, man.
Yeah. But he's up and down too. But he's just so athletic and so long, can get to the basket. His shot, maybe it's improved some since the last time I saw him, but we're in for something. It's going to be a tough game for us. And this is where I miss Payton. Our second unit with Quickly at the point, I just don't like it. I mean, that was the reason why we got Rose in the first place, to kind of settle down that second unit, because it's just Quickly bringing it up, shooting the ball, dribbling around, trying to get a foul. I'm not going to blame it all on him, but we do need to get, either Rose or Payton back into that second unit. And we're going to miss both of them today. We're going to miss Payton, Taj, and Mitch in this game.
Exactly.
We can win it, but it's going to be a tough one.
Yep, because their bench, I mean, look, you got Patty Mills at point guard, Derek White at shooting guard, you got Rudy Gay at small forward, Keldon Johnson at power forward, and LaMarcus Aldridge at center, right? Them two guys switching off between power forward and center. Patty Mills averages 13 points a game. Rudy Gay averages 11. Keldon Johnson averages 14.5 points per game. Derek White averages 11.8 points per game. And LaMarcus Aldridge averages 14.3 points per game. Their bench outscores their starters, right? DeJounte Murray averages 15.7. Lonnie Walker, 11. DeMar DeRozan, 20. Then you got Trey Lyles, who averages 4. And Jake Porter, who averages 6. This is gonna be a tough one, and our bench is gonna have to come ready to play and be able to be productive tomorrow night. So I do hope that Elfrid Payton is back. Right, Elfrid Payton did go on a trip to Detroit so that he can be in San Antonio, which means that the Knicks probably think there's a good chance that he can be back. Starting or coming off the bench, I think Elfrid Payton is going to be needed in this game for us to win. Yeah. Definitely.
Is LaMarcus Aldridge, is he injured? I haven't seen him in a minute. Is he playing?
Yeah, he played last night.
He played last night? Okay. Okay.
He played last night. 23 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, he must have just got back. I know I didn't see him in that Charlotte game that time about a couple of weeks ago. A week ago, I meant to say. I'm sorry.
Yep. He's there.
Saturday, they beat New Orleans.
Right. And they'll be playing Brooklyn tomorrow. Who knows what the injury stuff is like for Brooklyn, but they'll be playing Brooklyn tomorrow and then the Knicks on Tuesday. City, what's your take, man?
You talking about the San Antonio game?
Talk about San Antonio.
Yeah, hey, I feel like this. The only thing we need to do is play our style of defense. Our bench has to show up. Because we go as our bench goes. If nobody hasn't noticed that, like, you know what I'm saying? We go as our bench goes. And we need those guys to show up. Burks, whether it's Burks, you know what I'm saying? Like, quickly. But we do need some consistent play from Bullock. Like, you know what I mean? Like, our main thing is this, and like we can beat anybody in the league when we are consistent. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. And at least for right now, I would say we halfway there. Like, you know what I mean? Our record speaks for itself. Like, you know, you understand what I mean? Mm-hmm. We're halfway there as far as being consistent and doing the things that we need to do to win in the league. The only thing that stops us is that, you know, the Berg Hive will fall off. Bullock will fall off for 2 or 3 games or so or whatever. Right. Like, you know what I mean? RJ might take a step back for like 2 or 3 games or whatever. That's the only thing we missing. Like, if our team right now, as we speak, if our team would be consistent, we would have a better record than what we got right now. Well, that's all I'm saying.
No, I agree. Yeah. And, you know, it's taking some time for the team to get there. But look, we are currently 7-3 in our last 10 games. We've won 3 in a row. So maybe that consistency is starting to come around. Now, big shout out to Afrique NY, Afrique New York. Thank you for the super chat. He said this is better than the network post game. Appreciate that. He said must watch. He said this is must-watch TV.
Yeah.
Thanks to y'all. Thanks to you. Thanks to you for following it. Appreciate you. And then Dan Alcanet, he said that this Knicks team is real because we are a half-court team. How many young transition teams fall apart at the playoffs because the game slows down? I agree with you. That's one thing that is going to benefit us by being a half-court team when we get in the playoffs and, you know, we get in a series and the game gets tight. we're a half-court team that's able to, this is what we've been doing all season long. So, hey, I'm hoping we can pull this win out. One thing I did want to bring up, and this is really not the Knicks. Oladipo, Steph, I know you're high on Oladipo.
He injured, right?
No. The Houston Rockets offered him a 2-year, $45 million extension. He turned it down. Right? According to Adrian Wojnarowski, he's looking for a 4-year deal. Right? So like 4 years, $84 million, something like that. Somewhere around there. He's looking for a 4-year deal. I don't know the exact numbers, but something like that. But he declined to accept the extension. So that either says to me, it's simply that he wants a longer contract, or he just doesn't want to be in Houston. Right. Or maybe Houston doesn't want to give him a 4-year contract either. I know you're a proponent of bringing him to the Knicks. I don't think that the Knicks would bring him in and offer him an extension, right? So I guess with the Houston Rockets, once he gets to free agency, then they can sign him for another 4 years, right? So if they offer him an extension, they can do it for 2 years, which is the most that they're able to do. But if he gets to free agency, then they can sign him for 4 years. If Oladipo wants 4 years, would you give him 4 years?
Depending on how much he wants. I wouldn't give him a max contract. So 4 years and what? What is he asking for?
I think it's probably
give him between 18 and 20.
It's probably somewhere around 21, 22. Yeah, 81 wouldn't be a max. If you did 4 years, 81, that's about $20 million a year. About $20 million a year for 4 years.
Yeah, I would do it.
I was surprised that he turned down.
I think he's rounding into shape, though.
Okay.
I don't think he wants to be in Houston.
That's what I think. I don't think he wants to be in Houston either.
Yeah.
They're not a team that's going anywhere with the contracts they have with John Wall. I mean, they have Christian Wood, who, to me, Christian Wood is having a good season. He's hurt, but he's having a good season. I look at his body structure and type, and I watch him play. I'm just not confident he's going to continue to be this, 25 and 10 or whatever he is. Not on a high-level team, in my opinion, for Christian Wood. I don't see him being that on a high-level team. And, he's real skinny and thin. The way he plays is just a little bit, weird to me. It doesn't look like he's playing with any kind of strength. I'm just not confident that he's going to be a guy that he's going to be a long-term stud for a long time. And I think Victor Oladipo is I don't see it happening here. And is probably going to want to leave Houston. I think if he leaves Houston,
injury history too.
Yeah. And if he leaves Houston, I think the Knicks would be a team. Probably Miami would be a team that he would consider. So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah.
Somebody did ask in the chat, about Leon Rose and making moves at the deadline. And of course, we had a big argument today in the game preview, about what should be done and this, that, and the third. Leon Rose, I'll just say this. Leon Rose is in a tough situation, right? He's in a tough situation. So what I want to ask this group here, not even about making trades. I just want to ask you, what is the peak of this team as currently constructed? What is the peak of this team? Because I was trying to ask when we were having that big argument today, I was trying to ask. Jack Peters said that was him who asked the question. I was trying to ask Kev, what is the peak of this team? I don't know. Just don't trade nobody. Right? So, because I think that's an important question. And that's what Leon Rose and the entire staff have to ask themselves. What is the peak of this team? Right?
This season or in general? Even going into next season with no trades, what would the peak be?
I'm going to say this season. What would be the peak of this team this season? The best we think we can pull from this team this season. And then,
are you only talking about seeding, or are you talking about in the playoffs as well?
I'm not. I guess I'm just talking about how good,
I'll say top 8. I'll say top 8, Sim.
I think right where we are right now, 4th seed, sole possession of 4th seed. I think that's our ceiling, even down the stretch.
That's our ceiling. Right?
I can't see us surpassing top 3 by the end of the season. But staying here, I think we could definitely do that. And then going into the playoffs with a home court advantage at the Garden for a first round series, I don't care who we playing at the 5th seed. If we got home court advantage, we win in the first round.
Wow. Okay. So now let me ask you: when you say 4th seed, are you saying 4th seed, 18 and 17, 4th seed? Because I think some team by the end of the season is going to create a little bit more separation, right, from the 4th seed to the 10th seed. Somebody's going to create some separation. Miami, they just climbed from the bottom of the standings all the way up to the 5th seed, right? They're 7-3 in their last 10. They've won 6 in a row. They could be the team. They're getting healthy. They could be the team that gets some separation. Boston could get some separation. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle, but I do think there's going to be a couple of teams between the 4th and the 6th seed that create some separation. Could we be one of those teams that create some separation? When we're talking about the peak of this team, or is our peak somewhere around 500? Because I think if we're around 500, we're going to be 7th or 8th seed.
I think our floor is 6th seed. Honestly, like that's how confident I am right now. I think our floor is the 6th seed and our ceiling is the 4th seed.
Okay.
Wow. I'll go 8th only for this reason. If Malcolm Brogdon, T.J. Warren, and Caris LeVert get back to Indiana, that's going to be a problem. I mean, they missing 3 legitimate dudes down there.
Yeah,
I ain't talking about
that's true.
T.J. Warren and them dudes, and T.J. Warren, Caris LeVert, and Malcolm Brogdon get back to that team, and you got Miami. You got Boston, and Boston still can be there without making a move. So I just think that right now. And Toronto, right. So I think our floor is definitely. I think we're going to be in the top 8. I don't know. I can't say really what position we will be in, but I do think we'll be in that top 8 though.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if we get the 4th seed, then Randle is definitely in the MVP conversation. If we get the 4th seed by the end of the season, Randle is in the MVP conversation for sure. This team, I think listen, 4 is possible. 4 is possible. I think we're about a 500. I think we're a 500 team. I think we're about wherever 500 will get you.
All right, can I ask you guys something? Mm-hmm. Do you think we've peaked? Do you think we're playing our best basketball? Right, like that we're gonna play.
Nope. We playing. We won 7. It was 7-3. I don't know how much better. Well.
Think about this. Our defense has been consistent all year. Our offense has yet to catch up fully. It's just now starting to catch up.
But this is the thing with our offense. It could be any person on any given night. We don't really have, like RJ is playing good these past. See, people say it's our benches. To me, we just finding ways to win. We just finding ways to win. There's times when RJ's not playing well, we'll still win. The bench may not be playing well, we'll still win. Somebody is stepping up on any given night. Now, I'll tell you this. If we can get 15 points apiece, 10 to 15 points apiece from Bullock and Burke, we are a different team. But we just don't have that. Right. We just don't have that.
That just shows our inconsistency. This is what I've been saying the whole time.
You don't think we could reach it? Because
I think so.
Burks has already shown that he can average 15. So that, you know what I mean? We'll 12 to 15. So we know we know he could do it. RJ needs to be a little bit more consistent, but his numbers and everything are there, even with all his bad games. You know what I mean? So I just don't think we've peaked yet. So I think.
Hey, let me correct myself real quick. I do agree with you. I forgot that we only have Alpha Payton and Mitchell Robinson, so I need to kind of rethink that a little bit, because if them two dudes come back, and even if you put them in the second unit, that team becomes even more dangerous. You know what I mean? So I got him. I had to do that 6-4. I really do, because I forgot about Mitchell Robinson and
But listen, but this is what I will say: we're 7-3 without them. Right. You think if they came back, we would be better than 7-3 in the past 10 games? I mean, how much better can we get?
You never know, because see, now we doing the speculation thing, and like, you know what I mean? That's the thing that you don't really want to tap into, because every time you could be like, oh, well, if these guys wasn't here, we could plug this guy in and we could do this, or we could plug this guy in and give this guy less minutes and do this and this and that. No, we ain't about that. We talking about what's happening right now. And right now, we got the tires rolling and we on fire, and we gonna roll with what we got,
right?
And keep it lit.
The question was, what's our ceiling? Right. So you got to project.
Top
in that
5.
Case.
That's what. This is what I said. I said top 5. I would say we in the top 5 just because of our defense. Number 1, number 2, because we got the coach Tibbs. Like, you know what I mean? He ain't gonna be messing around. And number 3, our players respect our coach, and you already see the fruits of the labor. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Have we hit our ceiling? No. You know why? Because guess what? We're missing players, and we're still doing stuff, right, that we need to do. But then again, it goes back into speculation. What happens when we get these players back? Are we going to fall off? Are we going to shelf this guy on the bench and do this and do that? You never know, but we got to roll with what we rolling with right now.
No, for sure. But you think Mitch would be playing better than Noel right now?
You never know. Remember last year, Mitch, how many blocks did he have in one game last year? I think it was like 8, 9,
last year he played like 3 minutes at a time. He was fresh. That's why he looked the way he looked.
No,
he was playing 3 minutes. Look at him now. He playing 30 minutes. He barely getting a block a game because it's different. He has to put out a different type of energy now.
You know what?
So he's like one block a game.
I think we got to remember that Mitchell Robinson and Alpha Payton is the reason why it's 18 to 17. They is a big part of that. You know what I mean? Because they just got injured. Mitchell Robinson been holding. I know Noel doing his thing. Mitchell Robinson holding that thing down for almost 30 games or whatever. So we can't lose sight of what Mitchell Robinson had done for this team.
I agree. I agree. But what I'm trying to say is Noel is giving us that. So it's not like Mitch is going to be that much. Like Noel is playing about as good as Mitch was playing.
No, I agree. But you got to remember, imagine when both of them giving it to you. You know, imagine both of them giving it for you. That's what I'm saying. When Mitch come back, that means you got 2 guys doing that. So that's why I kind of think they're going to be a little bit more stronger, because now you get Mitch's numbers and Noel's numbers. So that's one reason I brought that up.
I mean, but the thing is, like Noel is probably not going to get the same numbers that he's getting right now because he's not going to play as many minutes, right? Your defense definitely gets stronger because you got someone on the bench and you got someone who's starting, right? So let's say our ceiling, let's say that our peak, is maybe 4 or 5, and our floor is 8. Let's say that, okay? That's this year. Right, and then you go into next season. Let's say you have the same exact team, right? You're gonna pick up a rookie or 2, so you probably lose. You're gonna probably lose, like a Austin Rivers or something like that. Let's say you go all next season with the same team. What's the peak then? Because guys are gonna get better, right? Guys are gonna get better. Where do you think we could go if we just stuck with this team? Because this is what Leon Rose and those guys have to look at when they start thinking about getting better. They have to think, where can this team realistically go? Right? So let's say you gave it to next year. Where could this team go if you gave it to next year? Go ahead, Tony.
No, next year, now I'm saying we gotta do something. We gotta make a move. Like, I'm not trying to go forward with this team. You know, I'm willing to let this team rock out and see where it goes and see how good. And then then you assess that and you see what's needed. You know what I mean? But just to answer your question, if we stuck with this team, then our ceiling depends more on RJ Barrett's development, Quickly's development in a sense of learning to facilitate a little bit more, learning a couple more go-to moves. You know what I mean? I'm not mad with Quickly this year. He's a rookie. He's doing what he knows how to do, and he's successful at it. But, you know, it's going to be the development of the rest of these guys. We already know what Julius Randle has done in one offseason. I'm willing to just let him go ahead and work on whatever he wants to work on and then come back and show us. Like, I wouldn't even say, you got to do this, you got to do that.
Come back
I think he knows. Yeah, I know. I think he knows how to, you know what I mean? But other guys, it's going to depend specifically on certain things, like RJ, Quickly, Toppin. I already told you off camera, I think next year he's going to have a breakout season. I think that's just the type of development guy he is. You look at his first year in college in Dayton, and then his second, and the vast improvement. I think that's just the kind of player he kind of has to learn the field, read the game, figure out what it is, and then I think he's gonna pop next year. So, and learning from Julius, who I wanted to mention earlier, that first year, you know, he got to watch Kobe. Or I mean, he got to watch him a couple years, but that first year he got to really watch him. He couldn't play, but he got to watch his work ethic. Right. You know what I mean? And he's talked about that on numerous occasions. So, and if you hear Obi, anytime he talks about Randle, the first thing he says is his work ethic. So I think we're gonna see a new Obi Toppin next year after full development. But it's hard to say what the ceiling is. I would have to say it's in that same range of, let's say we are 6th seed this year. I think it would move up maybe 4th to. I don't know how much further than 4th we can.
And then you got to think about you know, so even instead of looking at the seeding, just what our record could be, right? Because, you know, we could have a better record and still be in the 6th seed. You know, we could have a better record next year than this year and still be in the 6th seed because teams get better. You know, and teams are going to get better during this off season. You know, and the reason why I asked that is because, you know, everyone looks at, you know, we got Quickly and we got Obi and we got RJ and we got Mitch and Randle and Rose and Payton and they're like, oh, we just got to let these guys marinate for a little while. But you really do got to look at and say, what is the ceiling of this team and what do we got to do to get better? Because, you know, if you just let it marinate, you might not get better. You might get worse. You might fall back down. You know, and it's a tough decision. Leon Rose really does have a tough decision looking at what's the ceiling of this team this season and then, you know, what will be the ceiling of the team next season. It's very tough, you know, and how because I think after this season, you can't go into next season and do what we did this offseason. You can't go get a bunch of guys from the $5 bargain bin. I just don't. You got away with it this year. I don't think you're going to be able to get away with it next year and people be satisfied with just being, you know, 41-41 again or something like that. If that's where we end up, I think you got to show that you're getting better. Yeah, Tony.
Can I add to your question?
Mm-hmm.
What if we somehow become the Miami Heat of last year and make it to the finals? Do you still feel obligated to make a move, or do you rock with what you have until the right move? Well, it's got to be the right move regardless. But here's like, if it's not a guy like Kawhi, is it worth spending the money, especially if we are successful in the playoffs?
See, I think you do. Look at the Lakers, right? They won a championship, and they went out and tried to get better, right? Because what happens, teams start to look at and say, well, we got to get through New York. We got to get through Miami. We got to get through this. What do we need? What do we got to put together to get through these guys to get to Brooklyn? You know what I mean? And I think if you don't find ways to get better, then you start falling. You know what I mean? I think you got to find ways to get better, even if it's small tweaks. You know?
It's Boston, prime example.
Yeah. Boston is a prime example. Yeah. Let's hear Tom Thibodeau after tonight's game. This is Tom, ladies and gentlemen.
The way that clearly Julius and RJ are starting to kind of have a chemistry together and kind of improve together as the course of the year's gone on, and what you see from as opposed to the beginning of the year.
I agree, Mike. I think the first unit is really finding some chemistry together, and I think they're reading the game well. They're playing off each other well. They're playing very unselfishly, and they're tied together on both ends of the floor. So defensively, we were a little bit ahead. Offensively, when we share the ball, we're hard to guard. So I think the way they're playing right now is very good.
Steve Popper, Newsday.
Tom, you come in here a little bit shorthanded, back-to-back, and it looked like third quarter, really, the guys came out on fire. Just the effort, I guess, you saw from the guys tonight.
Yeah, I think, and that's the nature of the league, and sometimes the schedule's in your favor, sometimes it's against you. The challenge is to be ready, whenever you have to go. And so back-to-back, travel, get in late, ball goes up, let's be ready to roll. And just find a way to get it done. And that's what we did. That's the type of mental toughness you need. You need physical toughness. And you play a team like this, it's very aggressive. You've got to match that intensity. And then emotionally tough as well. So to get through the ups and downs of the game, I think we're getting stronger and stronger. And, the challenges will keep coming. And we have a lot to work on and a lot to improve upon.
Mark Berman, New York Post.
Hey, Tom, the record is really solid since Mitchell Robinson got injured. How happy are you with how Noel is handling things?
Well, one, I'm never happy. Two, I always think we can do better. Proud of Nerlens for being ready, which we knew he would be. And then we have a lot of other guys stepping up. I don't think you replace a guy like Mitchell individually. I think we have to do it collectively. If we play hard and we play smart and we play together, we can find a way to win, and that's what I want us to do. And whenever someone else is called upon, someone goes into rotation, just be ready, get in there, get the job done. And that's what being a team is all about.
Mike Borkanoff.
Tom, this is the third time in the last 20 years that you guys have had a 500 record. As someone who was here before that period, towards the beginning of it, and now at the end of it, what does that say to you in terms of where the team is right now?
And again, you guys mentioned this yesterday. It's a proud organization, and I was here during the 90s, but that doesn't have anything to do with today. So just like I don't want us looking ahead, I don't want us looking behind and what happened in the past. I think it's important to know the history of the organization. That part is important. But our focus has to be exactly on what's in front of us, and that's each day, each game, each practice, just be ready and keep improving. And we got a young team. We have a team that can grow. And so if we get everyone committed and willing to sacrifice and put the team first, good things can happen.
Steph Bondi, Daily News.
Hey, Tom, what has Julius shown you about the mental approach and the leadership it requires to be, the number one guy?
Yeah, and it takes a lot. When you're the focus of an opponent's game plan in terms of how they're going to defend, and there's a big responsibility that goes along with that. And so his teammates have to help him, and they have to get used to him playing at that level. When the double teams come, he's got the responsibility to make the right play, read the game, play unselfishly hit the open man, and to understand as the game goes on, the intensity rises. So then decisions have to be made quicker. Our spacing has to be strong, so he knows where his outlets are. And we have to understand that we have to play at that level to win. And so you want to practice at that level, so when the game comes, you're used to playing at that level.
That's Tom Thibodeau, ladies and gentlemen, on tonight's game. And you heard him. You know, he's never happy.
Yes.
He's never happy. And, you know, he's never happy. That's Tom for you. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen.
He's so no frills, too.
No frills.
Yeah,
right. No frills.
For real.
Hey, Sim, I got a question. I don't know if you can answer it, but why is everybody so high on Boston when they've been in a position of, making the playoffs, considered contenders for, 5 years and haven't done anything? And they continue to be talked about as threats.
No, I hear you. You're right. I don't know. I mean, they've been there, and can't get over the hump. Now, they were there in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They couldn't get over the hump. Miami took them out. Somehow they're just floundering this year. And, maybe they'll get hot. I don't know. But, their
it's because
team,
they've been there, Sim. That's the only reason. It's because they've been there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's just say within the last 3 or 4 years, they've been in the playoffs. They've been in that spot. And therefore, when you make it there, even if you don't win, you made it there. So therefore, you have to be in contention
Giannis gets more heat than they do. And Giannis is developing and working his way up. These guys are always considered the top threat or one of them, and then they get bumped every time.
Because they've been there. That's all it is. It's because they've been there. Like, you know what I mean?
They got more talent than we do.
Right.
They got more talent than we do right now.
They do. But something's gonna have to happen there if they don't.
Yeah.
If they
Marcus
stay,
Smart is hurt. Marcus Smart is hurt. He's been out. He's a big part of their team. And Kemba it hasn't really been what they thought he would be for them. So basically, it's Brown and Tatum trying to do the job. Smart is hurt, and Kemba is either injured or he's just not playing up to par.
Yeah, I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking about when they get to the playoffs.
I think that 1 year.
They have a hard time getting over the hump.
That's all. I know, but they, I think they get too much credit. That's
you know what set them back though? That Game 7 when Kyrie Irving didn't play that Game 7, they was going to the finals. You best believe it. He set out that Game 7. I think we'd be talking about Boston in a whole different light. I was like, man, and but know what? For the Giannis though, you know why Giannis get more heat than them? Because Giannis is a superstar. You mean that brother is a superstar? So
they got
$200 million.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
it's a debate for another show.
Right.
Did you see what he did tonight?
Yeah. They get to Clippers.
But I'll say this. Boston has always been afraid to pull the trigger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Danny Ainge is always afraid. Yeah, they're always afraid to pull the trigger, man. They're afraid to pull the trigger.
I hope the Knicks don't be that. I hope that's not us.
And this is what they've always been. They got to the Eastern Conference Finals. They couldn't get over the hump. They've always been afraid to pull that trigger. We'll see what they do. They might have to pull the trigger on something this year if they want to try to, because right now they're not competing with Philadelphia, Brooklyn, or Milwaukee. They're not up there with them guys.
Man in the middle. Yeah, they ain't got that man in the middle to compete with them, dude.
I will say that when I said 4th seed ceiling, I was also considering other teams not making moves.
Right.
Right.
Okay, we definitely gotta do something, man. We gotta do something.
Yeah, because some teams there's gonna be some teams out there that make a couple of moves. I mean, just imagine if Chicago made a move and brought Andre Drummond in, and it was Andre Drummond and Zach LaVine. Right, I mean, one move with the way this Eastern Conference is, one move by one of these teams can just break them apart from everybody. See what happens, man. Yeah. But hey, guys, I appreciate your time. We'll be doing a shoot around tomorrow. I got to figure out what time. I got to see what's on my schedule, see what's happening. But I'll be doing a shoot around tomorrow. I'll send out the notification so you know what time it is. Go ahead, Tony.
No, I was just gonna say hopefully it's later because I do have I got Ron Cleveland scheduled for 1:00 Knicks and Deuces.
All right,
so you guys, if you're not with Sim, come check me out.
Okay,
definitely. Anyway, I'm gonna head out of here. You guys will get the notification for tomorrow. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Smash that like button.
Sure.
And remember, we get to 15,000 subscribers. We're giving away an Obi Toppin rookie card, 2 Obi Toppin rookie cards. All right, so make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check out Divine on Tuesday morning.
Yes, sir.
At 7:30. All right. Make sure you check out Knicks and Bruises. Blowing's Tears is on right now. So when I get off of here, you guys can go ahead over to Blowing's Tears and see what they're talking about over there. Ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Appreciate your time and be peaceful, ladies and gentlemen. Spread love as usual. The Knicks are above 500.